Alright, this is John Cole at DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you, and where I am today of all places in the world, I'm here at a trade show, and a matter of fact, at this trade show, we got Omega at the trade show displaying their juicers as well as some of their other products here. And the reason for this episode today is because I had a customer that had a challenge with her Omega VSJ843 juicer. So I'm here to, share some information with you guys about that, on things that can happen and may happen with your Omega VSJ843 juicer, as well as address some of the customers' concerns and also let you guys know the truth about the Omega VSJ843 juicer. It's very important for me here at Discount Juicers to be as transparent as possible, with what I do, right? I mean, I make videos. I make live videos on YouTube that I publish. I published over 500 videos on this YouTube channel showing and demonstrating different juicers and how they work, and I try to be as honest as I possibly can in the videos, showing the real world experiences, right? And so I've had a customer with some challenges, and what I want to do actually is go over and actually see what they're juicing today in the VSJ843 juicer, and then share with you guys some of the challenges one of my customers have had, and how I'm trying to help her out and also get the response of Omega at the same time to just clarify things for everybody. Anyways, let's head over and check out what they're juicing today. So now I'm here at the Omega booth. At many different trade shows and things Omega comes to, they're actually juicing at the trade show to explain to people about the juice, how the juicers work, all this kind of stuff. And actually, what are you juicing today for everybody?
So we have some carrots today. We also are going to be juicing some apples, a little bit of lemon, some ginger.
All right, cool. And so you were here yesterday at the trade show. How much juice do you think you made in this very juicer at the trade show yesterday?
I would say we made at least 2 gallons of juice, if not more. 2
gallons, and then so how long? How long of a day was yesterday, or how many hours did you work when you made the 2 gallons?
Probably a good 6 hours.
So you made 2 gallons over a 6-hour time period, and that wasn't all at once. I was like, you made a little bit, sampled it out, then you switched to a different juicer, making wheatgrass on the other side of the table. So it was on and off. Now, did you even stop to clean the juicer once during the day, or did you just juice, stop, and then came back to it, or what?
We would just come back to it. We didn't have to completely clean the juicer out. We would be able to juice a little bit, come back, juice a little bit more, come back. We didn't have to stop and completely clean out the machine.
So I see you're juicing now carrots, and you're up to about, 12 ounces. How long or how much juice are you going to make in this juicing session until you stop and then pour out the juice in sample cups for people?
We'll probably do a good 36 ounces before we stop.
Yeah, so the container is marked to 35 ounces. 36 is a little bit above the markings, but the container will hold that, and then she's going to actually serve that out. So wow, so you're going to make 36 ounces in one session, no stopping and no cleaning, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, and a matter of fact, they're not even going to clean the juice until the end of the day, because nobody likes to clean their juicer. Not even the people at Omega. That being said, the VSJ only takes me 3 minutes to clean, but yeah, because they're just juicing constantly during the day, they're following proper procedures when juicing, they're just juicing all day. It's super simple. I mean, I do this all the time. Like yesterday, I juiced 3 different times, or 2 days ago, I juiced 3 different times. And I would clean my juicer in between, but the first time I maybe made 2 gallons, the second time I made maybe 96 ounces, the third time I made 32 ounces, and every time I'm juicing something different, but I'm making pretty good quantities of juice because, if you get a juicer, hopefully you're not just making a little sample size cup, because that's not really going to do a whole bunch for you, especially if you're working with a disease or something. We really need to flood our body with some of the best foods on the planet, which are the fruits and vegetables, and especially when you remove some of the fiber like the Omega juicers do. Anyways, next let's go ahead and sit down and explain to you guys more about it, some challenges one of my customers have had. So now I'm sitting down at the meeting table here at the Omega booth, and what I thought I'd do for you guys is actually read an email that I got from a customer that greatly concerned me. And I want to share with you guys actually what's going on in this situation and how I'm trying to resolve it. And also because some things were said about Omega, I got Omega here to maybe clarify some information, all right? So the email, no names will be disclosed, keep everything anonymous, but it says, Dear John, I just got off the phone with a long conversation with instructed me to email you to tell you that you must issue me a full refund for the VSJ843 RS round silver juicer that I purchased from you. They said they do not endorse your YouTube review usage claims for this unit. They said that this unit was designed and can only accommodate juicing 16 ounces per juicing session before it must be cleaned. They said that this unit was not designed and should never be used to juice 32 ounces or 64 ounces at a time, and it cannot accommodate this volume. And that it will jam up if juicing more than 16 ounces per session. This completely contrary to what you are claiming this unit can juice on your website. I'm a cancer patient and require a machine that juices 64 ounces a day. This unit has repeatedly jammed every time I've attempted to use it with the most ginger use. Fastidiously following the exact guidelines on both your reviews and in the manufacturer's manual. The entire unit is currently jammed to the point that two strong people cannot pry the entire unit off. Due to the fact that this unit performs so differently than your claims, I studied your guarantee policies and contact information and found them to be completely lacking in every way. Your performance claims for this unit are not backed by the manufacturer. Therefore, instructed me to tell you to issue me a full refund for this unit, in which you have grossly misrepresented the manufacturer's claims on your website. Sincerely. Wow, man, when I read that, I'm like, oh my God, what's going on here? Like, I'm making videos on YouTube. I've been making them for like, I don't know, 5, 6 more years now. And Omega doesn't like them at all? And the juicer can't make more than 16 ounces of juice at one time? I'm like, I must be going crazy. I like use the juicer. The Omega VSJ is my favorite juicer. I know it probably better than anybody in the world since I use it like every day in my household, and I know what it juices, I know what it's capable of. I'm like, Omega's saying that it can't juice more than 16 ounces per session? I mean, wait, didn't we just hear from there? She juices usually like 36 ounces per session, and over a day she made like 2 gallons yesterday over 6 hours and didn't even clean it once? That's very interesting. Anyways, I was really concerned when I read this email, so I responded, and I'll read you guys my response. My response was, I apologize for this situation. I will contact Omega to learn more about what they said and do a full investigation. I need to wait until I hear back from regarding what they told you. Once I hear from them, I will respond further. And then I put, I personally use the VSJ on a daily basis to juice from 64 to 128 ounces a day without issue. My goal is to ensure that you get a juicer that works for your specific needs. In the meantime, I would first encourage you to watch my video at youtube.com/watch blah blah blah. And basically, I recommended she watch a video called Juice Like a Pro in Any Vertical Slow Juicer, where I go over my 10 tips to ensure people use their juicer properly. To ensure you're using all my tips to ensure you have an excellent juicing experience. Unfortunately, Omega does not share my tips in their instruction manual or instruction book. After watching my video and using my tips, please let me know how your experience goes with the VSJ843. If you continue to have problems, please email me the specific list of ingredients and amounts that you're juicing so I can duplicate the problems you're having on my end. Once again, I'm here to ensure you get a juicer that will work for your specific situation. John. So, I mean, that's what I wrote her back, and then, you know, we've been going back and forth, and the last email she wrote me is here, and I'll read that off for you. It says, Dear John, as I've stated in my previous email, you claim and recommend that this unit be used for juicing large amounts of vegetables, 64 to 128 ounces of juice at one time, up to 30 minutes of use, far beyond the capacity that the manufacturer endorses and recommends. This is false advertising. I require a juicer that produces an amount of juice that this manufacturer does not recommend or endorse for the VSJ843. I called the manufacturer and do not support your claims, and therefore your claims are false advertising. I have spoken with the manufacturers, instructed me to tell you, quote, or actually it's not even a quote, it's one of the single ones. Your performance claims for the VSJ843 are not supported or endorsed by the manufacturer, and therefore you need to issue me a full refund for this unit. Therefore, either initiate the full refund and as have instructed, or I will initiate a credit dispute. Sincerely. Wow, man, that was a heavy email. So like, there's some contradictions here. You know, I mean, I show a lot of things in my videos, you know, and there's a lot of things being said from me and the other party, and I just want to get to the bottom of this once and for all. So I have somebody from Omega here with me, so let me go ahead and get him here in the table, and I have actually a whole list of questions actually to ask him about the VSJ843 to set the record straight, to see if I'm actually lying through my teeth, I'm actually doing false advertising by sharing my videos online, which does really concern me. So now I have an employee from Omega Juicers, and first off I want to ask you who you are, what's your name, and what's your position at Omega?
Okay, my name is Jeff. I'm the sales manager for Omega Products.
All right, this is great. You know, we actually got the person that was doing some of the communication with who is quoting. So first I want to actually ask you some questions about the Omega VSJ843 in general.
Sure.
So how long has Omega been offering the VSJ843 juicer?
I believe it's about 5 years now. About 4 or 5 years.
Right, yeah, no, it's been out quite a while, so I'm sure they've learned a lot of things over the time it's been out. I've been using it, I mean, since the day I got it, before the pre-release. I've been using it all that time and know it really well. So how long is a warranty for the VSJ843?
It's 15 years.
So what does the 15-year warranty on the VSJ843 cover?
Everything.
Everything? So
everything except for shipping, like if the motor, if there was an issue with the motor or something like that, the customer is responsible to get it to the repair center. We fix it or replace it if need be, and then we pay shipping back. Now, if it's under 30 days, then we usually issue a call tag.
Okay.
Past 30 days, then they must send it in.
So the warranty for the juicer covers the machine against manufacturer defects or breakage during normal use. It does not cover any abuse, and it covers basically just replacement parts or repairing or fixing or replacing the juicer so that the person will have literally a working juicer for the next 15 years. Is that correct?
Correct.
Wow, so that is quite a statement. The 15-year warranty is something that Omega started out in the juicing industry, and they have some of the best warranty service. I know a lot of the other companies out there that sell other brands, whatnot, you know, their warranties aren't as inclusive. I mean, uses everything, and a lot of manufacturers will have little disclaimers like, oh, this is not covered, this is not covered, but Omega has probably the best warranty policy in this industry, and that's why I like them. All right, so what are your personal opinions about the VSJ843 juicer?
I actually like the machine. It works very well. I mostly use it for doing my softer fruits and vegetables because it does do a decent job on it. I do basically carrots, apples, pineapple, cucumbers, strawberries, grapes, stuff like that.
All right, great. Yeah, and I mean, for me, I love the 843. I mean, as I said in this video and many other videos, this is my favorite juicer just because it gets a very high extraction. It works fairly quickly. It gets a high quality juice because it does run at a low 43 RPMs. And I mean, everything I throw on it, even including making nut milks, it does nut milks the best out of any juicer that I've used, simply and easily. So how much juice can the Omega VSJ843 make in one juicing session?
The juicing session, you can start all day, I mean, juice all day in it. I mean, it all depends on how the person is using it, if they're having troubles though. I mean, if they're not feeding the produce in right, like is recommended and so forth, yes, it can clog up and then it's going to back up, then you should then have to stop, well, you need to stop and clean out the screen and continue on. But if you use it properly and feed it through properly, you can go all day long with it. Yeah,
I mean, just like you guys does here, she juiced all day long without cleaning it once. Yeah, they did take breaks So does the VSJ843 have a duty cycle? So should somebody use it like 8 hours straight if they have a juice bar, or is that not allowed? Or, you know, how long should somebody use it before they should actually let the machine rest?
Well, because it is not actually commercial rated, I mean, we usually juice at probably, I'd say maybe half hour, 45-minute increments. You can go longer. We just recommend that, you know, you should give it a break after, say, at least a half hour use. And usually it's only a few minutes, just to let it cool down a little bit. But then you can start right back up again. But here, we do it all day long. But it's recommended that you should stop after about half hour, 45 minutes, just to let it rest.
Right, yeah, and that's what I recommend, you know. I mean, I recommend, that's what it says in the instruction manual,
Yes.
the 30-minute duty cycle. So juice for 30 minutes, however much juice you could make, and it's not limited to how many ounces you could juice, it's just how much stuff can you put through the juicer. And that being said, you know, I don't want you, I got 30 minutes, I gotta jam shit through the juicer. I mean, jam stuff through the juicer and juice as fast as possible, right? You wanna slow down and use the proper techniques to juicing, right? I mean, easily in 30 minutes, I could probably juice, you know, depending on what I'm juicing. Watermelon, I could juice probably like 2 gallons in 30 minutes because a lot of water in watermelon, it's really easy and sucks it in, and there's no backup clogging or jamming when I'm juicing watermelon. You know, something like carrots might take a little bit longer because you got to kind of put it in, pull it out, put it in, and you know, carrots are a lot harder and fibrous, it's going to take a bit longer, but easily I should be able to make between 32 to 64 ounces in one sitting without a problem. So when does the Omega VSJ843 juicer need to be cleaned?
Well, again, it depends on how the person is using it. If they're just cramming everything in it at one time and just trying to get it in one session, it's liable to start getting clogged up because the juice can't process, or the juicer can't process it quick enough and get it out through the screen, so it just starts backing up in the juicer. So if you slow it down and just feed it through normally, you can go all day long, literally. Now, some people have a tendency, if they do a lot of soft stuff, kind of like, say, pineapple, strawberries, anything that has like a lot of moisture content to it, and that is all they're juicing, and they're not putting anything firm in behind it, and they're just cramming it in there, it's going to back up. There's just no way around it. Now, if you feed it through, like as you're supposed to, like slow, you can go all day long until it starts backing up on you. But we do, as yesterday she was doing pineapple, oranges, some grapes, and I think some strawberries in that too, and that no hard stuff either, and she was getting that 35 mark in one session as well too. So again, it's how the user is actually using the juicer. I wish we could have a video done up to go in with our juicers of one of yours, because if they would follow, I mean, when they call in their office and they say, well, I'm doing this and it's not working right, we always recommend go to John Kohler YouTube, look up John Kohler and tell him what you're trying to do. You'll get a video of how to do it, and it's the best thing we can tell our customers.
So Omega actually recommends in some cases my videos so that people could use their juicer properly.
Oh, definitely. I mean, to not tell them the way, or how do I want to say this, to not say that we want John not to do our videos or anything. It's like, we know you promote our product, and yes, we're going to stand behind you in any way we can.
I mean, I actually use the machines, and that's why I know it, and I make the videos because it's stuff, you know, that they're not telling you, that I've learned that's not in the instruction manual. I want you guys to have the best and easiest time to juice, because simply juicing is one of the best things you guys could do in your life to get healthier, in my opinion, and actually based on my experience in life. All right, and so, you know, I think the VSJ843, it needs to only be clean when you're done, or if it jams or clogs up. And it can jam or clog up fairly quickly if you're not using it properly. That's the main thing, and that's why I recommend the video. I'll put a link down below, how to juice like a pro in any vertical slow juicer, right? If I'm not paying attention, I'm kind of half tired when I'm juicing in the morning sometimes. I'm not following my own directions, right? It could jam up after 32 ounces, then I have to stop, clean it, and then I'm like, John, why did it jam up on you? You're the juicing expert, man. Like, what's going on? I'm like, oh, I need to follow my procedures better. That might include adding one ingredient to your juice, like adding a root vegetable in between the soft stuff to help push through, add some carrots, some beets. If you want something more mild, something like jicama or some, daikon radish, something hard and firm, some parsnips that are going to actually help push through, some of the softer things. And, it hasn't been my experience that the juicer actually jams on cucumbers. I'll juice like 2 pounds of cucumbers at a time. It won't jam up, so it's not necessarily the soft things, but what it is, it's the fibrous things. So the leafy greens, the celery, things that are hard and fibrous like ginger, if they're not diced up and cut properly before juicing, they will definitely jam on you, and then you'll have to clean your juicer sooner rather than later. All right, so on a personal topic, what do you think about the videos that I make on the VSJ843 that are on YouTube?
I think they're great. I mean, they're well informed, and if you follow your instructions on the model, the VSJ, you're not going to have any problems. But we always recommend alternating.
Yeah, that's one of my recommendations.
But Omega, usually I'm used to doing like carrots, apples, lemon, and ginger. I'm not one that's used to doing a lot of softer fruits and vegetables in with my daily juicing. But after watching your videos and everything, when I used to do the softer stuffs in the VSJ, I had nothing but problems. They'd back up on me and everything, and I actually watched one of your videos and did your steps. And then the one thing I found is that, if you alternate, especially firmer stuff, and always follow up with that to help push everything through, it was much easier. But then I did a test on just doing all soft stuff, and it still backed up on me, but then I followed your steps and I had no problem.
Yeah, I suppose it depends on soft stuff, how that is defined, like something like really soft like strawberries might have issues. I've juiced strawberries before, but not on any large scale, because strawberries are so expensive to buy and I don't want to waste them to make a juice. I'd rather eat them, they're so delicious, or better yet, blend them up into a smoothie. Some of the super soft stuff I don't really play with, but I've done tons of cherry tomatoes. They're generally pretty soft, but they do pretty good, right? Even though it's something soft, if it has like a hard skin or seeds, that's some of the firmer stuff that I'll actually push through. So like juicing the VSJ843 is not all cut and dry, and it's something that you'll learn over time, as I've learned, you'll learn better ways to do things so that you don't get stuck up, when juicing. The other thing that I'll say is that, Omega's previous version of the vertical juicer, the Omega VRT series, which I used also for many years and was my favorite until the VSJ came out, tend to back up and clog even more than the VSJ. So, I'd say the VSJ, actually is an improvement with all this stuff that we're talking about today. So the next question is, are there any produce items the VSJ843 can have problems juicing?
None that I'm aware of. I've juiced pretty much anything I can think of in there. Beets, hard stuff, the cherries that have the bigger seed in them. Most people like to take them out, but it'll actually do them. I've not ever had anything that I could not put through there.
Yeah, I would say that I've had very few things that I can't put through there. I've tried to do a lot of things, probably more than anybody else. And there are some things that'll have some challenges. Like I get okra out of my garden when I haven't harvested it when it's nice and young and it gets too fibrous, stringy, and old. That will really wreck your juicer, the VSJ. Don't put it through there. But on the other hand, an NC800, NC900, that works beautifully, right? A similar thing happened on the VSJ if you juice things with big seeds. So like cantaloupe seeds, sometimes I put through the machine, which are not a problem generally. But if you put too many at once, it'll actually clog and stop the juicer. You're going to actually have to stop and clean it. But if you don't put the seeds through, then it's going to work a lot better. Like said, he puts cherries with the pits in, right? And just because said that, don't just start, I'm dumping 15 cherries in at once. I have a video on how to juice cherries properly with the pits in the VSJ843. If I remember, I'll post a link down below. And you know, the main thing is the VSJ will pretty much juice most things out there. The whole thing is you have to properly cut and prepare the produce to juice in it, or it's not going to work. You know, a couple trade shows ago, actually I used 1 pound of wheatgrass in the VSJ843. It definitely worked. The auger wrapped around with wheatgrass, I would say it didn't work well at all. It was making loud squeaking noises. I'll post the link down below to that video. You can see me juicing it, so it does work. But then I'm like, you know, John, how can you do it better? And the following year, I juiced the same 1 pound of wheatgrass in the VSJ, but instead I actually took scissors and cut it up into little small pieces, and it worked beautifully. It was the difference between night and day with the machine. So the VSJ843 Juicer is kind of like a girlfriend or boyfriend, right? If you treat your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, or wife, you treat them really good, they're super nice to you, right? They might bring you candies and roses or make you juice or something. But if you're mean to them, right, you're gonna be sleeping in the doghouse. And the juicer is kind of like that too, right? You just gotta use it properly, and you may have to learn over time how to be better or worse with it. And you will learn as you guys use it. And I know a lot of people may get intimidated at first, but that's all right. You know, you learn by doing in our lives. Anyways, next question is, are there any specific techniques Omega recommends when juicing in the VSJ843?
Well, I mean, if you're doing a combination of different stuff, it's always recommended to, you know, do a little bit of soft, do a little bit of firm, soft, firm, and always follow up with firm. But if you're doing all, you know, softer produce and stuff like that, then there really is no technique. You just feed it through slowly. Yeah, I mean, you can't just keep dropping stuff in there because you just can't process it fast enough because it is going at only 43 RPMs. So you have to give the machine time to process it. So if you just drop stuff in, it's gonna back up on you too. You just got to do it slowly.
Yeah, so that would be Omega's techniques. You know, they have a few things you should do. I have a lot more actually. Number one is don't use the pusher, right? If you use the pusher like on a normal juicer, which you would use the pusher, you're gonna be pushing things in faster than the juicer is ready to accept it. So that's why I like, actually, as a benefit to me, the VSJ auto feeds, and it'll suck in things at the rate it needs it, not as fast as you think it should be going in. I mean, that's number one. Number two, produce needs to be prepared properly. You know, this means cutting up certain produce items like leafy greens, like celery, like ginger. These are very hard and fibrous things that can block up the juicer. You know, things like pineapple core, that has to be cut properly or you're gonna jam up your juicer once again, right? And these are some of the tips that I go over in my 10 tips video. Once again, how to juice like a pro in any vertical slow juicer. I can't go over all my tips here. And of course, as rotating the things you're putting in, put a little soft things like the leafy greens, put in some of the, or you know, some softer fruits, or if you're juicing that, and then some hard vegetables, and keep rotating through. That's yet another thing you guys should do. I mean, and another thing you guys should do that I talked about a little bit in the video is selecting your produce properly, right? I was recently juicing apples in the VSJ843. They juice horribly, man. They make apple sauce instead of apple juice. I'm like, what the heck's going on? And then I juiced another kind of apple. These were Red Delicious. I juiced some Fujis that I had. They juice beautifully, right? The wrong kind of produce, like juicing old produce, ones that are already mealy and mushy, are gonna give you poor results. So there's so many different things, and I try to summarize that once again in my video. So do you use the VSJ843 on a daily basis yourself?
I do, but I also use another model I like to use, the NC800. I use that for my wheatgrass.
Yeah, so both the VSJ and the NC800 or 900 are the two best Omega juicers in my opinion. I'll post a link down below to the video I made comparing those two machines. They each have their pros and cons. I mean, overall, I would select the VSJ because it's a little bit more efficient and faster to use. I mean, it took me like maybe for juicing only like 2 pounds of produce in that demo. It took me like maybe a minute or two longer to juice in the NC 900 that I was using. Plus, I had to actually push each produce item in, which I don't particularly care for so much. All right, I think the next thing I want to do with you is actually get into some of the specific answers to the customer. You know, that some specific problems and made some statements actually regarding you and about Omega and what you guys said, because I just want to make sure that we're on the level here. So number one, I'd like to ask you is, who is
the office manager of Omega products in our Harrisburg office?
All right, so, and then is your office near office? office, or?
Yeah, my office is actually right in line with hers. I can look through a door and I can see her.
All right, so you're in contact with Lee all the time and kind of know what's going on.
Yes.
All right, good, because I guess she spoke with not you directly, or did this customer?
Yeah, I did not speak to customer directly. I heard the conversation was having with on the phone.
Okay, great. So I guess the next question is the Omega VSJ843 only designed to juice 16 ounces per session before it must be cleaned?
No, it can go on further than that. Again, where that always follows in is because a lot of people do not know how to juice properly, and if they are, again, feeding everything in at one time, and usually that is the magic number. Like after 16 ounces, it'll start backing up.
If you're not using it properly.
If you're not using it properly. So that's usually a go-to for our representatives to tell the customers that if you're feeding it too fast and you're doing a lot of softer stuff,
and you're not cutting properly,
and so forth, it is going to back up, and that's when you need to pull the screen out, clean it, and then continue on. But if you're doing it properly, you don't need to do that. So there's kind of like a little push and take with that, because yes, you can juice more than 16 ounces if you're doing it properly. If you're not, you're going to have to clean it. And that usually is the magic number, 16 ounces for some reason.
So is the VSJ only designed to juice 16 ounces per session before it must be cleaned?
No, it is not. I mean, it can go past that.
Yeah,
again.
I mean, you guys did yesterday like 2 gallons without cleaning once, and you'll do easily a whole pitcher, 32 ounces in one session.
Yeah.
All right, good. So is it true that the Omega VSJ843 will jam up if juicing more than 16 ounces per session?
Again, it's how they're doing it. I mean, if it's used properly, no, you should be able to go past that point, again, if you're juicing properly. So yeah, you can go past 16 ounces.
So is it true the Omega VSJ843 should never be used to juice 32 ounces or 64 ounces at a time, and it cannot, and it can't accommodate that amount of juice and that volume of juice?
No, it can do it. I mean, it's only household rated, but we do have a few juice bars that actually use them in their juice bars, and they're doing probably more than what we're doing here throughout the day, because they're open, a lot longer than the 8 hours we're here. But they do it all day long. So, no, you can do more than that.
Okay, so are my usage claims of 64 to 128 ounces of juicing at one time, which is up to 30 minutes of use, far beyond the capacity of the Omega VSJ843? Am I making videos that lie to people?
No, because the machine it's a continuous juicer. We have recommendations that, yeah, you should give it a break after a half hour, 45 minutes to let it cool down and rest. I have people that don't listen to that and will juice hours at a time. Again, you're taking a chance that you might overheat the machine, and it's possible to, hurt the motor. But I've never had one happen yet, but we do that as a safety precaution for the motor. But yeah, it's continuous juicing until you get to that point where, again, you don't feed something through properly and it does back up, then you got to stop and clean it. Now, the one thing a lot of people think is that when the pulp is coming out that spout, that they'll take notice that at first it's coming out full, and then it'll start, maybe half of it'll look like it's starting to get clogged, and then you're getting down to where there's only a little bit coming out in a stream, and people think that that's being clogged. It is not. As long as you got a stream coming out, it is not clogging. Clogging is when there's no more pulp coming out and it's backing up inside the juicer to the point where you look down it and it's all mushy and everything. There's just nothing more coming out. But as long as there's a flow coming out, it's not backing up.
Yeah, and one of the signs to me that the juicer is backing up is if when you go to take apart the juicer and it doesn't come apart easily.
Yes.
That means that it backed up, and then even though it backed up, you kept juicing, backing it up more. All the produce has to go somewhere. It basically just backs up in the housing, and then you can't take the top off. And how I deal with this is, number one, when you see it's clogged up and pulp start coming out, you got to stop immediately. Then take the juicer apart, clean it all out, then start again. And if the machine's clogged up, jammed up, you can't get it apart, what I like to do is actually take the juicer, put it in between my legs while I'm sitting down, have the juicer fully assembled, and actually push down on the machine and turn it to get it unlocked. Another technique I could use is, put the juicer, put like 16 ounces of water in the machine, just run it for a while, let it kind of like soak up, run in there with the spout closed, and then open it, drain that all out, and then go forward, reverse a couple times to kind of free things up, and then try to take it apart, right? And while you're taking it apart and twisting to turn it off the correct direction, push down at the same time. That'll definitely help you get that apart. And everybody that I've seen, do some of these techniques have gotten their juicer apart once if it did jam up, Let's see, next question for you. What is the recommended capacity of the VSJ843 that Omega endorses and recommends?
Actually, we don't even have a specific amount. You can run it all day long until it backs up on you.
So there is no recommended amount that Omega recommends juicing. 16, 32, you don't even say the amount.
No, we don't. Just because there really isn't. It's all, again, on how the customer is doing it. Yeah, you could have a problem at 16 ounces and you got to stop and clean it out. Or you could be doing carrots all day long, just like we do here, and apples and so forth. We did, almost 2 gallons yesterday, and that's only because the show was over. We could have kept on going. So, yeah, there really isn't a record amount. We don't say, oh, you can only do 3 gallons a day in this machine. No, you can do 4 if you want. As long as the machine keeps on going, you're good to go.
Yeah, so like I've used the Omega. I'm not recommending this by any means. I recommend officially 30 minutes of use and then let your machine rest for like 15 minutes to cool down. But I used it for an hour at a time once, right? And yeah, the machine definitely got warm. I probably should have did that because you doing that a lot of times could mess the motor up, right? But I've juiced easily an hour at a time when I was like busy. The next day I was traveling and I need to bring I was on a juice fast with my girlfriend. We had to bring like a cooler full of juice with us. And I've done that before. I don't recommend it. So yeah, literally you could juice a lot of juice in the VSJ843 for home use. I don't recommend that for commercial use, just like Omega. So the next question, did you or say my performance claims for the VSJ843 are not supported or endorsed by the manufacturer?
No.
All right, that was easy.
No, we did not.
And let's see, is it true that you and Omega do not endorse my YouTube claims for the unit?
No, we do. We endorse your, Just like I said previously, we recommend for our customers to go to YouTube and look up John Kohler. So that's a plus for us, because if there's something, because I know how you juice all kinds of crazy stuff. And I know what to do. I juice basic stuff. So we tell our customers to go to John Kohler's and look up anything you want. That's the guy. That's the juicing guru, as I always call you.
I know some of the videos I make, Omega may not like, sometimes, because I kind of tell it my opinion. And of course, my videos are my own.
There's a few of those that we don't like too.
Of course, but I'm not representing Omega. I'm my own person. But in general, I try to just be honest and share the truth like it is. And that's why I'm having this video, to basically make a conversation out of a current, situation that I'm going through, to let you guys know the truth, okay? So in your opinion, have I, quote, grossly misrepresented the Omega VSJ843 on my website and in my videos?
No, because it will do it as long as it's done properly.
Right. Yeah, that's what I tell you.
It all comes down to proper usage. And a lot of people also buy juicers and just think, okay, well, I got 10 apples, 10 carrots, this and that, and then just start cramming it in there. And as you say, like using a plunger, that's a definite no-no, because now you're pushing it especially if it's softer, because you have a tendency to push it too fast, and the blade is only going at 43 RPM, so it's not taking it. You're just actually smashing it in there. Now you got mush in there to begin with that the machine can't handle, so you're just creating even more out of the softer stuff before it can, proper thing, just let it drop in and let it feed itself.
Yeah, I mean, that could even happen with harder stuff like carrots. You know, I recently had a customer maybe a month ago or so that was having some challenges juicing carrots. And then he said he called Omega, and Omega told him, supposedly, that the VSJ wasn't designed for juicing carrots. And then I called Omega, spoke with the rep that he spoke with, and figured out what was going on. And you know, I'm not going to say who's lying, who's telling the truth. I just like to uncover the truth, right? So then I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to go out and buy 36 carrots and 2 apples, which the customer was juicing, and I'm going to juice it and see what happens. And maybe the juicer's going to mess up, right? Maybe it's not.
Or maybe the customer, again, used the softer apples, or, yeah, like you said, some apples do not juice well in juicers.
Yeah, so anyways, I did make that video. I'll post a link down below to show you guys how to juice 36 carrots and 2 apples in the machine. And it worked beautifully for me. So, you know, and on several occasions I've attempted to request from this customer, what is juicing? Because, you know, unlike a big box store that you buy a juice from that doesn't care about you, I care about you. My life was saved because of juicing and making other dietary changes I had and was put into the hospital. The doctors told me that I might not make it out alive. And I had to do dietary changes, and I depend on my Omega VSJ843 Juicer on a daily basis to keep me full of the fresh fruits and fresh vegetable juices that I enjoy juicing, so I could get the health benefits. Surely if the machine didn't work, it wouldn't be my favorite juicer, and I wouldn't be using it, because trust me, there's so many other juicer companies here at this trade show. They all give me juicers, and I could use any one of them, but I choose the VSJ. So, you know, when I got some of these emails, I was really, really concerned.
Can't beat any better endorsement than that.
Yeah. So, let's see here. So what is your personal opinion on my videos about the VSJ843?
Very well informative. Again, I wouldn't recommend our customers to go to YouTube and look you up if I didn't feel that you represent us in a proper way.
Thank you.
You wouldn't get free juicers either.
And that being said, despite me getting free juicers from Omega and other companies, right, even though they give me free juicers, sometimes the videos I make, they may not like, right?
True.
Because I just tell it like it is.
Yep.
You know, some of the Omega machines are maybe not as good as others. So I try to steer you guys to the best ones, and you know, the Omega VSJ843 is one of the best ones. So I'm quite surprised at this. You know, if this was a different model, you know, I might not be so surprised, because there are some machines that maybe, you know, don't have the best track record, but the VSJ, I mean, this is the one I love myself. And if you want a juicer that you really want to use the pusher, like if you want to use the juicer and use the pusher and push things through, get the Omega NC series. That machine, you need to actually push things through that machine. It's a lot more durable and a lot less hassle-free, right? That you don't have to like cut things up. You don't have to follow as many procedures, you know, with that as the VSJ843 does, because basically the pole comes out straight, you know, and it doesn't have to go through a right angle turn that is prone to get clogging, right? And I try to show my videos. Each juicer has their pros and cons, and I make these videos so that you guys could watch all my videos, right? All whatever, thousands of hours to determine the best juicer for you. So I would hope that my customers and people would do their due diligence and watch more than just one of my videos and, oh, I'm buying this one because John said it's good in this video. Well, hey, watch other videos where I compare this to that, so you guys could really get the full scoop and be an educated consumer. And that's why I really make the videos for you guys, because I want the world to be a better place. I want everybody in the nation, everybody in the world actually juicing, and I don't care what juicer they get, but as long as they get the right one for them and start juicing today so that they can get the benefits. We have final two questions here for you. So I guess one of the last questions is, did you say to my customer, quote, I must issue a full refund for this juicer?
No.
All right, well, that was easy.
No, it did not. I mean, I recommend that can contact you, and because we don't know what your return policy is, we can't dictate return policy on other companies or customer, or, you know, like you sell your juicers and other companies. We have a 30-day return policy on if you buy it directly through us. However you handle your returns is up to you. If you choose not to give a refund, that's up to you. If you choose to give a refund, then we will obviously give you a refund, or however you want to handle it. I don't know if you do like used sales or not, but no, we don't tell people to do, I can make John give you a a refund. No, we can't do that.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, for me personally, it's not just about a refund or not a refund, it's about getting a person a juicer so that they could juice and do their intended purpose, right? Like this customer had, you know, said in an email that this person is juicing for cancer therapy, right? I sell many juicers for people with cancer therapy, and I want to make sure she has a juicer so she could juice during her cancer therapy, because in my opinion, it's one of the best ways to heal, you know, is to get all the junk food out and get good stuff in. I mean, the Gerson therapy, look that up, right? That's a cancer therapy they recommend juicing, right? Actually, they juice carrots and apples in that therapy, right? And if I had that situation and I wanted a juice that was fast and easy to clean and be able to juice large volumes of juice, I would surely juice in the VSJ843. I mean, I use it anyways. I know it will juice those things quite well. And so it's really important to me, besides just returning the juicer because you don't like it or whatever else, I want to make sure that you get the right juicer for you, and that's the most important thing for me. So should the VSJ not be the right one for this customer, I'd be glad to exchange it for the NC series, you know, which would be the right one, you know, if the VSJ doesn't want to follow the directions, is not the right one. But I guess before that, though, I want to find out what you guys are doing, right? If you told me, John, I'm juicing these things, and I juiced those items in the VSJ and it bombs, it works bad for me, I'd be happy to give a refund, right? So I'm just here to help and do the best I can. But you know, it seems to me that some people maybe I don't know, don't want to be helped, right? And I'm just trying to be as helpful as possible, and that's why I'm making this video for you guys. All right, so do you have any final thoughts on this situation that we've brought to you today?
Well, a lot of things is, and I tell this one with customers every day, it's impossible to make a single juicer that can juice everything 100%. You have, just like you said, we have the NC 900, which will do some things better than the VSJ. There are some things the VSJ does better than the NC, but the VSJ is probably the closest machine that you're going to get or have that will do everything together without having two machines. Again, I love that machine for doing my softer stuff. I mean, it does process it well. And a lot of times I'll tell customers, you know, give the machine a chance, because sometimes you have to work with it for a few weeks just to get an idea of how it works. I get customers that will absolutely hate the machine. I don't want this machine. Please give it a chance and work with it. Follow some of the tips I'll give you, and I'll guarantee you're going to love it. And I usually do not hear from that customer again, other than the fact that might have the one or two that just say, you know what, this is not the machine for me. Okay, at least we tried. I can recommend another machine for you to try, and that usually works out as well. And then I do get some of the customers that call back and say, you know what, thank you very much, I gave it some time. Now a lot of times they have issues with putting it together and stuff. Like I said, just work with it a little bit. And then they call back and they say, okay, great, thank you, I love the machine. A lot of times it's just a matter of looking at your videos, working with the machine and giving it a chance. Because sometimes it can be, I'll admit it can be frustrating. I know it's not, because I've been with the company for 28 years.
Wow.
And when I first got the machine, I had problems putting it together too. Then once you do it a couple times, it's like, it's second nature.
Right.
So, but yeah, no, just got to give the machine a chance, because it is a good machine.
I mean, I would agree. It's kind of like if you go adopt a dog at the shelter, right, and rescue an animal, right? That dog might be super mean. Like, I got a dog once that I was fostering, and he would bite me. And it's like, I gave him a chance, and I was just nice to him. You know, he got to be a lot nicer. He still bit me once in a while if I would bother him too much, right? But hey, if I poked you into something, you'd probably bite me too.
We're going to poke back.
But, you know, he got way better, you know, and unfortunately, many other people that tried to adopt him out, actually he would bite because they didn't give him a chance, and then he just got returned like several times. So I kept him being his foster until actually his original person that gave him actually took him back, and who knew him. And it's just kind of like that, you know, the VSJ could be like that. You know, you got to get to know it, and any new appliance or new thing in your life, new husband or boyfriend, you got to kind of get to know, because you know there's certain buttons you push and they'll get mad at you. And just like the VSJ, so I want you guys to give it a chance. I want you guys to watch my videos and know what you're getting into. And the other thing I want you guys to do that are watching this is, before you buy a juicer, please please, please, please contact me. I'm here to help you guys out. If you guys don't feel you're getting everything you need from my videos, contact me personally and say, John, I saw your videos. These are the things I want to juice. I want to make a juice with this recipe. You know, this much carrots, this much ginger, this much apples, this much pineapple, and that's the juice I'm going to make. These are some of the things that are important for me to have in a juicer. I want it easy to clean. I want it fast to use. I want to have high nutritional quality. Tell me the things in order of importance to you, and tell me this list, and then I will recommend a juicer that will best meet your list out of all the juicers I've tested, right? I do this as a free service so that you will get the best juicer for you, right? And I mean, meanwhile, you know, some customers won't tell me their list, and then it's like really hard for me to help them to get them the right juicer they need so that they could, you know, start juicing and get on a juice program and heal their disease, whatever it may be, right? And I'm not going to say juicing heals diseases, but I will say that I have many testimonials from people that have used juicing to heal their disease. You know, I have friends that have healed their cancer by juicing. I'm not going to say that's going to be your experience, right? But I have so many people that have lost weight, that have gotten healthy, that have turned their health around because of juicing, because they got the right juicer, because they stuck with it, and they're juicing, and now they're healthy, right? And that's why I'm here, right? My life was saved by juicing. Your life could also be saved by juicing if you get the right juicer and start juicing today. And I want to thank you for taking the time.
No, appreciate
out of the busy trade show, you know, to make this episode for my viewers today. And you know, the final thing I'd like to say is that if you guys appreciate my work, if you have learned from this video, if this video has helped you out in any way, I would encourage you guys to support me in my work by making your purchase at discountjuicers.com. This allows me to continue my work and educational work to make educational videos to teach you guys about the juicing, right? If you go buy your juicer from another store, they don't come to the show and like ask questions and, you know, make sure that the customer is satisfied. They'll just say, yeah, send it back, we'll give you a refund. They don't care about you. I'm doing this because I care. I wouldn't be taking several hours out of my day to film this video, to upload it, to get it edited if I didn't care. And that's why I'm doing it, because I want people to turn their health around with juicing, right? So if you make your purchase from me, I can continue my work, my mission to do this. And I also want to let you guys know that I do have a price match policy. So if you find a price lower anywhere else, let me know. I will match the delivered price on from any authorized retailer. Now be aware there are some gray market, black market dealers out there selling things under the table that may not have warranties, so I can't match those. But if it's a brand new machine from an authorized retailer, I have no problem matching any price. So that you guys can support me, but also get the best price, because I know that is important, you know, to many of you guys. But if you want to purchase at full price, hey, that's great too. You know, that just helps support me and allows me to continue to do what I do. So I want to thank you guys in advance for those of you guys that will purchase from me, and I want to thank you guys who have purchased from me so I can continue one of my life's missions. Also, if you guys enjoyed this video today and learning more about the Omega VSJ843, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up. That'll encourage me to make more videos, kind of like off the cuff, you know, impromptu about this and many other topics. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button right down below so you don't miss out on any of my new and upcoming episodes. I have episodes coming out every 5 to 7 days. You never know what new juicer, vacuum blender I'll be testing, or even, you know, juicing tips I'll be sharing. As I learn juicing tips, I'll make videos, you know, how to best clean your juicer, how to best, you know, juice in your juicer, how to pick produce, how to grow. I mean, so many different things I try to share with you guys to keep you guys updated and be in the loop about the industry, about juicing and all the juicers in there. Also, be sure to check my past episodes. As I mentioned before, my past episodes are a wealth of knowledge, especially if you're trying to juice properly in the VSJ843. You gotta follow my video. I'll put links down below to how to juice like a pro in any vertical juicer. That doesn't apply just to the VSJ843, but any vertical juicer out there. Even if you buy a cheap, crappy one from China, even those guys could work better. I don't recommend those. Also, be sure to check the video down below how to juice 36 carats in the VSJ843. That also may be eye-opening. Even somebody that has one of these juicers I was in contact with the other day, you know, found out that maybe they should have been cutting their greens up all the time, and they haven't been, so they weren't getting the best results, right? So there's always so much to learn, and I always want you guys to be open and flexible and think of juicing as an experiment. Hey, I'm gonna juice with a juicer today, let's see what happens, and kind of have fun with it, right? I juice every day, and yeah, sometimes on rare occasions the juicer even backs up for me when I'm not paying attention, and I'm like, but then I think, John, how could you have done that better? And then I'll do a little bit better next time by following some of my procedures that I'd like to share with you guys. So yeah, my past videos are a wealth of knowledge. So anyways, with that, my name is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Be sure to visit DiscountJuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for our YouTube visitors.